Welcome to the Trump Breaking News Network, your daily source for up-to-the-minute Trump news. Join us today and every day. Here's today's news.
This is TBNN.
The CIA continues to use CNN to smear Trump with pejorative anti-Russian propaganda. The story posted below in its entirety only perpetuates the smear campaign against the Trump White House. In this case, Newsmax, a supposedly conservative news website, permits itself to be used again by the CIA to disseminate a patently false report originally published by the world's premier fake news outlet, CNN. Of course, the CIA owns and operates CNN, so it effectively functions as the propaganda arm of the U.S. intelligence community. The extraordinary proliferation of obvious fake news now disseminated by the mainstream media, MSM, is totally out of control, especially where it concerns Russia. There are specific explanations for this that are not being covered by the MSM, and for very good reason. These important reasons are also not being presented by the alternative news platforms. That highly radioactive and deep background can be found at the following link: What's really behind all the fake anti-Russia hysteria? For those uninitiated in the complex realm of global geopolitical analysis, the link just below provides a veritable library of articles detailing the untold Russian backstory. Each of the 10 essays provided represents an essential thread in the historical tapestry that illustrates and explains so much deliberately manufactured Russophobia. This fastidiously fabricated hatred towards Russia has been generated over centuries by quite purposeful design. See, the untold backstory behind the non-stop fake news about Russia. As a matter of historical fact, the current war against Russia even predates the Great Game, an ongoing geopolitical conflict started by the British when they first set their sights on the vast Russian motherland. The Brits have always believed that such immense natural resources were theirs for the taking. And so they took, first by financing and staging the Russian Revolution in order to establish the Soviet Union. And, secondly, by stealing Russian natural resources and corporate wealth after the dissolution of the USSR. Today, those who control the United Kingdom manipulate the Brits into using the United States, the European Union and NATO to prosecute an upcoming and unprovoked war of aggression against Russia. This clandestine group of power brokers is also responsible for the non-stop, false flag terrorism occurring worldwide. The two recent terrorist attacks in England, Manchester and near Parliament, were carried out for this particular purpose. Just who is it, then, that really rules the City of London through threats, and intermittent waves, of terror? The answer can be found here: who is really behind all the false flag terrorism? It is their NWO cabal, explicit intention to escalate the planned war on Russia into a full-blown World War III scenario. Only in this way can the Sino-Anglo-American Axis hope to rebuild the US dollar-denominated global economic and financial system that is now essentially bankrupt. In other words, the engineered monetary collapse will be executed first, which will then set up the conducive global environment for World War III. While this apocalyptic event has been planned for centuries, it is not yet a foregone conclusion. And, it's because of Herculean efforts like this one that it can be prevented altogether. The man determined to prevent World War III. In the aftermath of such planetary devastation, the ruling elite will promote disaster capitalism in every war zone. By implementing their Ordo-Abjal strategy, they seek to sufficiently soften up countries on every continent via their brand of controlled chaos and predatory capitalism. The NWO cabal will eventually attempt to foist a one-world government upon the world community of nations. Just like they took advantage of both the First and Second World Wars to form the League of Nations and the United Nations, respectively, a one-world government, OWG, will be aggressively advocated for. Their New World Order agenda will have been completed with the establishment of this totalitarian, communist, global superstate. The failed European Union project is but one piece of the overall OWG scheme.
That's the news. Join us here every day. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell. See you next time.
This is TBNN.